Hello and welcome to another video here at Stanley Gibbons Baldwins, and today we are talking about Dr. Arnold Brickman's
Falklands. Now, you may think of Dr. Arnold Brickman as a doublehead collector, but that's not the only thing he collected. He also had a side collection of Falkland Islands going on, and it's coming up for sale in our summer auction here at 399 Strand.
Cut to the theme music. So we all know Dr. Arnold Brickman here as fastidious collector of quality and detailed items, and this sort of his theological way of studying philately has been transferred over to his Falklands that are of equal quality and specialization. And we've got a cross section here of some of the better items that are going to be appearing in his sale of the Falkland Islands that we've got coming up later in the year. And I believe, Gabriel, you're going to start with one particular item in person.
So the first item I'm showing you today is one of my favourites here, and it's a whaling front from South Georgia. Now, you may look at it and just think it's nothing of particular note, but the truth of the matter is the Tuppets halfpenny overprint on the tuppence is incredibly scarce. You see the post office there, they ran out of their halfpenny and tuppence halfpenny stamps, so they got authority from Port Stanley to overprint their stamps, and only 1,179 of them were printed. Now, you see, this isn't the stamp you should buy without any sort of guarantee, but fortunately it also comes with its own Stefan Heims certificate, which is absolutely crucial if you're looking to buy this stamp.
And carrying on from what Gabriel has said about those, this one is also particularly interesting to collectors because this is actually commercially used. Now, when this surcharge caught wind of the collectors, of course, they wanted to get a piece of these. So you often find these on philatelic mail, but this one is a 100% commercial piece of whaling mail. And again, slightly rarer than some examples of this particular surcharge that you see on philatelic covers. And I'm sure it will go very well when it comes up for sale in auction. Now, the lot that I'd like to discuss is this rather interesting collection of Cork Cads. And in the Falkland Islands, before hand stamps became the real thing and circular date stamps, which they were using, often they used a carved piece of cork to cancel the stamps along with the CDX. Now, cork cancels, whilst they look primitive, are actually very interesting. They were carved out a piece of the cork, and often the postmasters made them in sort of decorative shapes. Some of them spelled FI for the Falkland Islands, some of them were sort of grids. There is one here that's called Stone Heims. There's one here which is a large windmill, which I think is that one down there. And they can be very decorative and very interesting. Now, cork cancers can be a bit of a pain to decipher which ones they are, but thankfully we have help on that.
We have the Stefan Heims catalogue.
We do indeed. Now, Stefan Heims is a great Falkland Islands specialist and collector and has written this amazing, concise catalogue specialising in the Falkland Islands, South Georgia and British Antarctic territory. It is the Bible for the Falkland Islands collector. Now, within this catalogue, if I can find the page at the time that's been allotted to us, we have this rather detailed compendium of all the known cork capsules. Now, Dr. Brickman has gone through and identified some of them, and we have double checked some of those. So overall, he's been fairly accurate with his own decipherings of which ones they are. And also with the Stefan Heims, he gives the classification of what they're called, what they're made of, all the various different types, and also at the top here, their rarity scale. And this is how we determine their value based on the items that are known, how scarce they are, or versus how common they are, and of course, all listed by the various types. Now, they only ever come in black, and they stopped using cork cancers round about the time of the turn of the century in 1901. And so they only come within a small period of the Falkland Islands, and they are very jolly interesting, I find. Now, we have grouped them all together to create this rather nice lot of all the various different cork cancels, and also we've got some other examples of Falkland Island cancels from abroad. So we've got two Falkland Island stamps here, which have been cancelled on arrival in London, with a reconstruction of the registered CVS here, and another registered one here. This one I'm particularly fond of here, as this one is actually cancelled in Chile. Obviously, it went via Chile and was cancelled on arrival as it was sent uncancelled. And this lot is really a perfect lot to get you started if you really are interested in cork cancels. It's not particularly expensive, and I hope it would do well on auction day.
So the next item I've chosen is these three stamps here. You may be looking at it wondering, what's going on? What are the cancels? And these were the parcel cancellations. And quite curiously, they're only known used on one date, which is
the 9th of July, 1897.
Indeed, but you often find them philatelically used as well, but even so, they're incredibly hard to get a hold of, and at £150 to £200, I think this is a great addition to any Falkland Island postmark collector's collection.
Now, no video talking about the Falkland Islands can possibly ignore one of the greatest sets of stamps that has ever been issued in the entirety of the history of the world. And that is, of course, the 1933 Falkland Islands Centenary set. It is astonishingly beautiful, this set. It is a great iconic set of the British Empire. It's one of my favourites. It's got everything going for it. Great colours, great designs, a penguin. A penguin! Now, this particular one is the 5-shilling black and yellow type of the stamp. Now, this stamp actually does have a rarer shade from the much scarcer and smaller second printing. Now, it is very difficult to tell between the first printing and the second printing, as they are quite subtly different, but there is a difference. And I believe that my glamorous assistant here, Gabriel, has brought something very helpful along.
Now here you see we've got the Stanley Gibbons reference collection, and it shows all the difficult shades and the differences between them. And you can see here the black and yellow orange is clearly much more orange in nature than just the black and yellow.
And just to clarify, that this is the first printing, black and yellow, and this is the much scarcer, smaller printing, black and yellow orange shades. And the black and yellow orange is much more valuable than the first printing, as it not as many survived as the first printing. And so this is the basic color on this one. But if we turn to this rather spectacular cover here, this is the Falkland Islands Centenary set on cover. There are quite a few covers out there, but there are not so many with the good shade penguin on it as well. So we've got a beautiful unmounted mint set of the Falkland Centenary set with the normal shade penguin, as it were, the black and yellow, and then we've got the black and yellow orange on cover here. Sadly, it's not first day, but it's still a spectacular cover and an ideal exhibition piece, and one which really I'd like to have for my own collection, though I don't think I can quite afford this one, but maybe someone out there can.
And the final item I've chosen for you today is this fantastic 1913 to 23 10 bob George V stand. And it's a very fine used example used by South Georgia cancellation, just giving it that extra bit of flair, and it'll be very suitable for most people's collection. You know, very nice centered, lovely stride of the cancel. What more could you want?
Right, so that wraps things up for this short but sweet video on what's coming up in auction very soon. Dr. Arnold Brickman's fantastic little collection of the Falkland Islands and dependencies.
Now there's something for everyone here, and in the auction there won't just be Falklands, so even if you don't collect Falklands in particular, please keep an eye out at sgbaldwins.com, because there may well be something just for you.
And as always, please like and subscribe for more Stanley Gibbons content.